What's going on, everyone? Welcome to a new YouTube video. Today we're back in the studio, back in Los Angeles. It's been a crazy couple weeks. We're in Portugal, also at Banff as well. Heading up to San Francisco this weekend, so it's been a pretty crazy couple weeks, but I'm really excited to have made so many cool videos for you guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed those. If you haven't seen them yet, I will link a few of them down below. We've made some cool travel films, some iPhone review videos, all that fun stuff. But doing all this traveling has kind of made me nostalgic and thinking about when I started out as a photographer, and I think I made a lot of mistakes, as we all do when we're first starting our business. And I just thought I would make the video today for you guys to kind of chat about a few things that I really think are helpful for starting your photography business in the beginning, and what kind of you can be doing that doesn't cost a lot of money and it just takes time and effort to help you grow your business as well. So without further ado, let's just jump on into the video, roll that intro, and we'll get started on my favorite tips for starting out your photography business. So the first thing that I think is crucial for a lot of photographers, and something that you might not realize in the beginning of your careers, is it's so important to back your work up. And what I mean by that is to have multiple copies of all the photos that you shoot on multiple different hard drives in different locations. I know hard drives can be kind of expensive, but honestly, even a terabyte now, hard drive is really cheap. You can find one on Amazon for like $50 or $60. It's really not too bad. And the peace of mind of backing your stuff up is really going to just make you guys a lot more relaxed. I myself am super OCD about all my files being organized in the right way. So I have multiple files in multiple locations everywhere. But the point being is I've lost a lot of my work from early in my career in 2014 to 2015. I didn't back up my work and I lost hard drives. I wasn't, organizing my files properly. And so I think this is like a really big thing that you should definitely focus on, is because you'd love to have that old work and be able to re-edit it and upload it to your website or upload it to your Instagram, and you'd be able to re-edit it with your new editing style as the years progress. And that's the cool thing about digital photography, is you have these files for years and years and years, and you can just digitally manipulate them. You can edit them and make them look exactly how your work looks right now. So I think it's super important to back your work up. I myself really try hard to back my work up in a couple different locations. I first usually work off of one SSD. I usually use these SanDisk SSDs. They're called the Extreme Portable SSDs. Super reliable, and they're very lightweight, unlike those traditional hard drives back in the day. These things aren't spinning hard drives, so you can use them on the go while you're traveling, on a bus, on an airplane, anywhere, and they're just gonna be super reliable and, more importantly, very fast to work off of, especially while I'm editing 4K video. These things are a dream to work with. And then when I get home, I usually offload all of my projects to a bigger RAID system. I use the Lacy and G Drive systems, both of which I found to be very, very reliable, and I would highly recommend these as well. All I'm saying though is it's really important to back your work up so that you have copies down the road so you can re-edit your work and reshare it with your new editing style. So the next point I wanted to make is to not box yourself in stylistically. And what I mean by that is, in today's age and with social media out there and all, you're constantly scrolling through the internet, you're going to see people's work and obviously be inspired by that. But I think the really important thing I'm trying to make here is just to really shoot what you love. I think really early in my career, I made the mistake of just following into trends, shooting what was popular, and shooting, what I thought would honestly do well on the internet, what would get a lot of likes. And that's just not what you should be focusing on. Take it from me, who's someone who's learned that the hard way. I really think now I've tried to shoot as much as I can with intention, and I really try to shoot the kinds of things that I want to be getting hired for down the road. And what I mean by this as well is you want to be able to try new things. You don't want to just box yourself in and shoot only one thing for the rest of your life. When I moved to Los Angeles, it was a very big change as far as the scenery that I was shooting and the types of subjects that I was shooting. But I think it was a very important moment for me because it allowed me to grow as an artist. And I think the moment that you box yourself in and don't allow yourself to shoot one kind of subject because that's not what you normally would do, you're just going to be limiting yourself as an artist. And I think especially in the beginning of your career, as I said, it's really easy to fall into trends. And the most important thing that you can do is to just not do that. You really should just be shooting exactly what you enjoy shooting. Maybe you love taking photos of your dogs, of your family members, of your friends, of your travels, whatever that may be. You should just focus in on that and do it to the best of your ability, because the more that you fall into trends, you're just really going to be not happy with your photography, because it's just a carbon copy of somebody else's photos who probably already copied somebody else's photos down the line. So we're really all just kind of copying each other, and that's just not the right way to go about things. Especially in 2019, 2019, I think it's more important than ever to have your own style and just shoot exactly what you love. Every single one of you guys has your own unique perspective to bring to the photography world and the community in general. So I would just really try to hone in on your own specific style and see what that does for you. You know, like really try to just shoot everything and don't be scared about trying something new. That's all I'm saying. So the next thing I want to talk about is spending money right now to help your business down the road. And what I mean by that is I know it's really hard to spend money and not see the return on investment right away, especially in today's age. We're very much a generation of we want to see results very fast and very quickly, but that's just not going to be the case sometimes. And investing in small little things for your business can really help you down the road. Especially when I started out, I didn't have a lot of money, but I had a very good idea of what I needed to prioritize as far as services go and just things I needed to purchase for my business. Having something like a professional email address, a website, and a nice logo, even hiring people to do things like retouching or editing parts of a video that you don't know how to do can really help you save time and ultimately be able to run your business that much more efficiently. And I know you're thinking, Sam, I don't have enough money to do all of this. Photo retouching sounds like an expensive thing. I can't get a logo done that's usually thousands of dollars. And you're right, you know, up until probably a couple years ago, that was definitely the case. But in 2019, there's so many different ways to hire people to do services for you, especially in the creative world. And I think this is a great point in the video to chat with you guys about today's sponsor, which is Fiverr. So essentially what Fiverr is it's a marketplace for freelancers to be able to market their services. And I've actually been using Fiverr for a couple years now. It's really helped me grow my business in ways that I really couldn't have imagined because of how reasonably priced it is. So for example, I do a lot of, outsourcing for photo retouching. I myself am not super good in Photoshop. I can edit a few things here and there, but major things, I'd much rather pay somebody to do that because it's just gonna waste time for me trying to figure out how to do that. It's probably gonna take me days to learn when I can just pay somebody, especially when it's reasonably priced as Fiverr is. So as you guys can see here, I work with this girl actually a lot. She lives in Egypt and she is a super talented photo retoucher and I've worked with her over the years. And as you can see, I recently had her retouch 5 images for me for a campaign for a luggage company. And this entire thing, including 1-day delivery and 5 images with the high quality source files, was a grand total of, drumroll please, $42. So I know you're thinking, wow, that's actually really reasonable. Maybe I can actually afford to do that. And you can. The cool thing about Fiverr is pretty much every single gig or job that you'll find on there starts at about $5. That's usually like the baseline for everything that's available on the website. And then things like, 1-day delivery, including source files, another photo that they want retouched on top of that. Just adding the extras will be, incremental charges on top of that. But in general, it's a really reasonable place to find services for your freelance, career. If you guys wanna click the link down below, you can save 15% as well as check out my curated store page. Essentially what this is it's breaking down some of my favorite personal gigs that I use, including voiceovers, VFX editing, photo retouching, and a lot more graphic design, all that kind of fun stuff. So if you guys are interested in checking out some of my favorite personal gigs that I use, as well as just saving 15% on your first purchase, definitely go check out the link in the description. Fiverr is one of my favorite freelance platforms to use, and I hope you guys can find some value in that as well. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is to practice photography as consistently as you can. And what I mean by this is it's really important to get out there and take photos as frequently as you can. If you guys saw my latest video, I'll link it down below. It's talking all about consistency and why it's super important as a photographer. But I think essentially what I'm trying to say here is that the more and more that you get out there and take photos, whatever that may be, it doesn't need to be like a end-all be-all photo shoot every single day because that's kind of unrealistic even for someone like myself. But what I mean is, you should be practicing taking photos on an almost daily basis because creativity and photography are muscles and you need to exercise those muscles as much as you can because that's the only way you're gonna be able to get consistently better over time. I found that I even really enjoy taking photos just with my iPhone as of recent. This camera is really fun to work with and I've been shooting a lot of photos on my phone and just stuff like that. It's training your eye to look for patches of light or interesting scenes that you wouldn't normally notice. And the more and more that you do that, you're actually going to be refining your eye and your taste for the kind of photos that you're going to be taking in the future. So I think it's really important, even just with an iPhone, honestly, or maybe you have a film camera, maybe you have a big digital camera, whatever you want. It's just important to get out there and take photos as much as you can. Even for me, taking photos on my walk to get coffee in the morning with my phone, or even around my house when the light hits at sunset, it's really nice. You're training your eye to see these interesting scenes, nice patches of light, so on and so forth. And it's just a great way to refine your eye and continue to get better as a photographer. So the final thing that I wanted to talk about today is to essentially consume less than you create. And what I mean by this is I think a lot of us make up excuses in our head, myself included. I'm probably the biggest offender of this. Is, you know, we go on Instagram, we go on Twitter, we watch some YouTube videos, and in our minds we say, oh yeah, this is just, you know, for my photography business. I'm scrolling, I'm doing all this and that. And, you know, while that sometimes may actually be the case, a lot of the time it's usually we're just making that up in our head so that we can, you know, be okay with ourselves going on social media so much every single day. I think there's a fine line between consuming and getting inspired than in just consuming too much and being overwhelmed. You don't even know what to do or how to start with creating your own kinds of YouTube videos or your photography or whatever that may be. But I think what I'm trying to say here is it's really important to just get off your phone sometimes, you know, get out there, experience life, start creating whatever that may be. It doesn't need to be this big extravagant thing. You just need to get out there and do it. And especially at times when you don't feel inspired to go create, that's when you really need to do it. Because the more and more that you do that, you can, you know, train your eye to be more inspired on a daily basis. And I don't know if you guys have realized this at all, but for myself, when I catch myself watching too much YouTube or browsing Instagram too much, I'm actually way less inspired than when I usually started scrolling mindlessly through those apps. So I think it's really important to just practice creating a lot more than you're consuming on the internet. For me, I love looking at photography books or just taking a walk outside. Simple things like that actually really inspire me a lot more than just mindlessly scrolling on my screen. Essentially what I'm saying is, you know, get out there, create something fun, much better than just sitting on your phone all day on the couch wishing you were out doing something when you have the ability to go out there right now. All right, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that talk. I just really wanted to kind of hit home a few things that I really think could help you guys personally in your own photography careers, because I know myself that these things have been pretty crucial in the success and also downfalls sometimes of my photography in general. I wanted to thank Fiverr again for sponsoring this video. I really appreciate them taking some interest in the channel. Hopefully you guys are interested in going to check out some of their services. But as always, thank you so much for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and we will see you in the next one.